Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. This time we're getting personal, ditching the generic stuff and focusing on why you, especially your wellness, through exercise.
And we're going beyond the usual exercise is good for you stuff.
Yeah.
The source material you provided is great. It really gets into some surprising benefits, especially the mental and emotional aspect.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that too, actually. Like, we all know that post-workout feeling is great, but the science behind it was impressive.
It's fascinating stuff, really. One of the key things is endorphins. Think of them as your brain's mood boosters, and exercises like, well, it's like giving them a big push. And it goes even deeper than that. We're not just talking about feeling happy. Different endorphins do different things.
Okay, now you've got to unpack that a little. What do you mean?
So, for example, when you exercise, your body releases beta endorphins. These guys are like your body's natural painkillers. And then there's dopamine, which is all about that feeling of reward and motivation. It's really powerful stuff.
No wonder I feel like I can take on the world after a good workout. It's like my brain is my own personal cheerleader.
Exactly. And the best part, these endorphins, they don't just disappear. They stick around, helping you deal with stress and even sleep better.
Which, let's be real, we could all use a little help with these days, right?
Yeah.
But we've talked about feeling great, but what about the physical stuff? This feeling of well-being is a great transition to your own plan. You mentioned your age range earlier, and that's important because a plan for someone in their 20s won't be the same for someone in their 50s.
Absolutely. A one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't cut it. And based on what you shared, you're in insert listener's age range here, which is an exciting time for fitness.
So, spill the beans. What does the ideal exercise plan for this age group look like, according to the research?
Well, the research points towards a balanced approach. Think of it as building a strong foundation with both cardio and strength training.
Cardio.
Hmm.
Does that mean I need to start training for a marathon? Because honestly, long-distance running isn't really my thing.
Not at all. Cardio doesn't have to mean hours of running. It's really about anything that gets your heart rate up and your breathing faster. Think brisk walking, swimming, dancing, even biking.
So it's more about finding what you enjoy, what you'll actually stick with. Makes sense. But a lot of people in this age group, myself included, are looking to build strength. Let's dig into that a little more. You're totally right. Strength training is huge right now, and for good reason. But it can be, I don't know, kind of intimidating, especially if you're not sure where to start. So break it down for us. What does the research say about strength training for someone in their insert listener's age range here?
Well, the first thing to remember is strength training isn't just about, getting super buff. It's about building and keeping that lean muscle mass, which, by the way, is super important for a healthy metabolism, strong bones, and even avoiding injuries.
Okay, those are some benefits I can get behind. But let's talk specifics. What would a good strength training routine even look like for someone our age?
The sources recommend trying to get in at least 2 days a week, focusing on working all those major muscle groups. And here's the best part. You don't need a gym or a bunch of fancy equipment to do it.
Music to my ears. So what are we talking about here? What are some examples of strength training you can do at home?
Bodyweight exercises are amazing, and they're super effective. Things like squats, lunges, push-ups, planks. You're using your own weight for resistance. You could also try resistance bands. They're cheap and you can do a lot with them, or even just some basic dumbbells.
I like it. Totally doable. Is there a reason why these recommendations make sense for this age group specifically?
There is. It's all about timing. This is when your body is naturally at its best for building muscle. As we get older, we naturally lose muscle mass, so starting strength training now is it's like investing in your future health.
So it's like putting in the work now to reap the benefits later on. Sort of like a health savings account for your body, right?
Exactly. And it's not just about being physically strong either. The research shows strength training can help with bone density, which is important for preventing things like osteoporosis later in life. It can even help with brain function and mood.
Wow. It's incredible how everything is connected, isn't it? Cardio for your heart, that endorphin boost, and then strength training for muscle, bones, and even a sharper mind. That sounds like a recipe for success no matter your age.
It truly is. And the best part, you get to customize it, find what you like, what works for you, and make it part of your routine.
I love that. Consistency over crazy intensity.
Right.
Speaking of getting started, though, I think some people might be feeling a little overwhelmed.
It's understandable. It's one thing to hear about it, but actually putting it all into practice, well, that's where things can get tricky. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about how to make this work for you. And I want to start with the most important step.
Okay, lay it on us. What's the crucial first step?
Before you go jumping into a new workout routine, especially if you haven't been active in a while, you need to check in with your doctor. Get a checkup. Your health is the most important thing, and getting the okay from your doctor means you're approaching exercise safely and in a way that works for your body.
Absolutely safety first. So once you get the thumbs up from your doctor, it's all about finding what you love and making it a regular thing.
Mm.
But we've talked a lot about what to do and how often to do it. What about the how? How do we turn all of this info into a plan that actually sticks? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And this is where things get really personal. We know what to do and how often, but actually making it happen, that's the tricky part.
Right. It's all about finding what works for you, your life, your goals, all of that. And one thing that really stood out in the research is the idea of starting slow. You don't have to go from 0 to 60 overnight.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm the queen of going too hard too fast.
Yeah.
It never ends well. So slow and steady is the key.
Right. Exactly. Think about it like building any new habit. You got to ease into it. And here's another thought. How can you make exercise fit into your life, your everyday routine? Like if you walk your dog, maybe try jogging a little. Or if you drive to work, could you park farther away and get some extra steps in?
Love it.
Yeah.
Little changes can make a big difference. Oh, and speaking of making it work, the research also talks about listening to your body, which I think is so important.
Absolutely. Some days you might be ready to hit the gym hard, and other days, maybe a yoga class or just stretching is more your speed. And that's okay. You got to honor what your body needs, right?
It's all connected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tuning in, being flexible, giving yourself a break. It sounds like getting healthy is about more than just, checking things off a list.
It really is. It's a journey. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about enjoying the process, finding what feels good.
Couldn't agree more. As we wrap up this deep dive, one last thing to think about. We've talked a lot about the physical stuff, but what about the mental and emotional benefits of exercise? What are some ways you can tap into those? It's something to consider as you continue on your wellness journey. Because at the end of the day, the best approach is one that makes you feel good inside and out.
Well said.
And on that note, until next time, keep exploring, keep moving, and keep diving deep.